to our next session of the Women in Testing. Today with me is Kasia Morawska, and she's coming from Poland. Welcome, Kasia.
Yeah, hello.
So very nice to have you here with us. You studied in Wrocław management. That was the start of your career. But you can tell us a little bit more about your career. So how did you start to come into the field of testing?
Oh, it's actually quite interesting, and it's good that you are asking about this because I came into area of testing a little bit by accident. I was working in totally different area, and I was more searching like a job in particular company, and they offer me the work as software tester. I didn't know what it is really. It was 15 years ago. It was not so much popular, and I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe I will try. Sounds a little bit boring because I was used to have contact with people, and I was thinking, oh, probably I will not have contact with people too much. But let's try this. So this is how I started. I didn't know anything about testing really.
And were there mostly men or were there mostly women at that time, 15 years ago?
It was, to be honest, it was even us was like 3 girls and maybe four men in the company testing. Of course, as developers were mostly men, but for testers it was a little bit equal, let's say. So it was not as bad.
Okay, and did you had any barriers there with the men in the development field in the testing area, or did you see it was all treated equal?
It was like I think the atmosphere was quite well in the company because it was small company, so people they were all together helping each other. So it was really good start because I couldn't see the barriers during this time. So I felt quite equal to developers or to other people working as a testers. So it was really good to start in the small company, I think, for me, now when I'm looking from the perspective.
Sounds very interesting. But when you come from economy, that's also a very interesting move then to move into software testing. That's a totally different area, isn't it? So how did it feel to go from, let's say, this economical business related more into this testing area?
I think it helped me maybe a lot this that I have skills like for organizing things, for maybe a little bit fighting for my rights because I was also studying management. So it was like I learned to go forward, let's say. So I could fight for defects. Okay, let's solve the defect. No, it really exists. So it helped me maybe a little bit with those kind of skills to go there. But of course, the whole technology topics, like technical stuff, it was quite difficult for me to understand. But developers were very helpful during this time, so they could explain me things. So it was a good start. But in the company, all of the testers were people without any testing experience, without IT experience. So it was just the form how the company recruit people. So it was because of this, it was much easier to start because others had the same issues that I have.
Mm-hmm. So and when you now look back and especially also look at the issues, but also at the chances you had, what would you say were the main factors that helped you to become such a successful woman in the field of testing?
I think that the big help was from the company because later I changed my job and I started to work in bigger company, and the company was very, very supportive, also supportive for women. So it helped me a lot to have different kind of projects, different possibilities. So I would say various tasks at my work, and also a lot of experience came with contacting with other people. So networking, spending time with people who are doing the same. So maybe a lot of outside of work activities, I would say, but still kept in the same field, in the software testing field. So learning a lot from others who are more experienced. And this is, I think, really, really good help even now for me, just checking how others people are working.
And do you see some shift to more equality in the area of software testing, or do you say there was never a problem in your opinion?
I can see that now many companies have policies that they really take care about having equal numbers of women and men. Also, for example, like conferences, they are also taking care of having some women speakers there. So I would say in my country, at least in Poland, I can see that the trend is like we want to have women in the tech area. But of course, there's still sometimes you can see that a man is considered as somebody more technical than woman. So of course, this kind of thinking exists sometimes, but I do not see for myself, I do not see too many obstacles. Of course, there are some, but I think it's now it's much easier.
That sounds very interesting. So when you now also look back to what you did, when now new women will come into the field of software testing, what would you recommend them to do? What would you say that would be a good thing to learn, to listen to work through?
I think that the most important is do not afraid to do this what you think you can do. You can always find many mentors around, like other women or maybe men who can help you. So just do not afraid talk with other people, maybe even some strangers. If you will go to some conference, start networking. So people will help you understand, people will show you possibilities that you have, so they can guide you. There are also different groups everywhere on Facebook or somewhere on the internet, so you can find groups related to the software testing, and there you for sure will find many people who are eager to share their knowledge, because it's good to start with contacting those kind of people who are really passionate about this, what they are doing, and they can guide you, they will help you. So just do what you think you can do. Just do not stop.
And what is it in Poland? Is it SJSE where you would go to, or what is the place where you would recommend to go in Poland to?
I think it's a really few good groups that you can go and talk to people. So, for example, in Poland on Facebook, we have some software testing groups that you can join. You have also many conferences, so there are quite good conferences organized. Also, they are taking into consideration people who are beginners, so you can go to conference that is directly just done for people who want to start or who have just started. So you can go there and just check what is there for you. And always you can check different kind of meetups that are ongoing. Of course, do not go to very difficult topics at the beginning. Just find some topics that sounds like something for people who are starting, so you can have some profit with going there. And again, talk to people when you are in the event.
Yeah, networking is always very important. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And so when you're now 15 years in this area, right? So what would you say was the most interesting story you could tell someone out of the testing field?
Oh, I think I just like it. Just from the beginning, I a little bit like stuck into testing field because it's difficult for me to leave it. I just like this, that many things is happening, many things is ongoing. So it's never boring. You have many possibilities because there are many things ongoing in IT world. And it's always working with people, quite often with international teams, which is also very interesting to work with different people. And also this, that the IT world or testing world is changing all the time. You have new tools coming, you have new, I don't know, maybe new ideas popping up, and this is like all the time something is happening, something is ongoing. So it's really interesting from my point of view.
Not getting boring then, right?
Yes, it's not boring at all. So even if it sounded for me as boring, as I mentioned at the beginning, when I have started the work, I was thinking that, it can be boring, but it's not. It's still contacting with many people. It's investigating. You can feel like a detective sometimes when you are testing and trying to find something. And it's also a little bit about not giving up, because sometimes people will tell you, no, it's not an issue, but you are still like going forward. You are finding things. You are discovering things in the software. So I think this is really rewarding. Can be very rewarding when you are seeing that your work is just improving other things. So it's really good. And also maybe what I want to mention, when you are in the software testing field, you have many other possibilities, like taking part in conferences, like for example, as a speaker, during meetups. So you can also expand your other skills, like more soft skills, by doing things that are around. So you don't need to be closed just into the office, into the work, but you can also do many things around. And this also gives you great possibilities.
And when you look now back, as you studied economics, a different area, was it a help for you that you came from something totally else, or would you say that was not so important?
I think it helped me more with seeing how the users are using applications. So with looking from users' perspective, because I was user of many applications before when I was working in different area. And also when I was studying a little bit like management, so it was great focus on people. And from this perspective, it was easier for me sometimes to find some defects because I was looking from different side at the application. So this could help me. And of course now, because I work as test manager and as chapter lead currently, so I'm actually using the skills that I learned during my study when I was studying management. So I can use the skills now when I need to contact with people, when I need to more organize things, when I need to take decisions. So I think does not matter what kind of background you have, you can always find something that will help you in your current work. So you always have some skills and you can use them. So in software testing, it's really possible to use many other skills that you gain from working somewhere else.
Makes absolutely sense. Well, you also said something about culture. So you're working in different culture teams, right?
Yes.
How is that for you? Do you see there's still some problems with other men, or is it there easier to work with other women? Or how would you describe that when you are going into other cultures, when you're working with other cultures? Are there still some problems today, or would you say there is already some full equality at the workspace?
Actually, I see the cultural differences here if it's about equality, because working as test manager, so I have some decisions that I'm taking, and I could see that if we are starting cooperating, for example, with some new group or new people from other culture that has maybe different hierarchy between men and women, it's visible from the beginning because it requires some time to make people to respect maybe my word or my decisions because I'm a woman. So I could see this few times, but I would say it was not a huge issue for me because it just required time so people could understand, okay, this is her role and this is what she's able to do, and this is like we need to consider her opinion also. But of course it was maybe more like interesting for me, but I didn't feel offended by this because I knew that it's different culture and this required some time.
Kasia, it was really inspiring, really a very nice interview. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are going to celebrate here now in Marrakesh our 20-year celebration of ISTQB. But it was really a pleasure to have you with us and to get some insights into women and testing. And so thank you so much for being my guest here today.
Thank you very much for inviting me and have a great celebration.
Thank you very much.